Justin Bieber's status as a global icon was supposed to guarantee him generational wealth, but a series of shocking 2025 exposés and a high-stakes 2026 financial audit suggests his $200 million catalog sale wasn't a strategic business move, it was an emergency exit. When Justin sold the rights to his entire music library in late 2023, the general consensus was that he was simply following the trend of superstars cashing out while valuations were high. However, behind the scenes, a much darker narrative was forming, one involving massive debt, reckless spending, and a desperate need for liquid cash. The common belief is that Justin Bieber is a multi-millionaire, living a life of leisure after retiring from the grind of touring. But the superior reality, backed by 2025 legal filings and internal industry memos, is that he was on the verge of a total financial collapse that necessitated the sale of his most valuable assets. Today, we are answering three critical questions that the Bieber camp has been trying to suppress. What specific evidence exists that Justin's Justice World Tour cancellation left him with a $20 million debt to AEG? Why did his own management team advise him to wait for a tax break that he ultimately ignored because he was too broke to wait? And how did the arrival of his son, Jack Blues Bieber, lead to a 2026 internal audit that reveals he has virtually no passive income left to support his family? We have mapped the timelines of his spending habits and pulled the discovery documents from a recent 2025 documentary that his legal team tried to block. To get to the bottom of this, we had to look at the private jets, the 8 bus tours, and the hidden mechanics of a celebrity lifestyle that cost more than even a superstar could afford. The first major receipt in this case arrived in May 2025, when a bombshell investigation titled TMZ Investigates What Happened to Justin Bieber aired on Hulu. This documentary didn't just speculate, it provided testimony from individuals close to Justin's financial inner circle. According to the investigation, while Justin's career earnings were estimated to be between $500 million and $1 billion, his liquid assets by late 2022 had plummeted to nearly zero. The filing of this financial distress narrative began with his decision to sell his nearly 300-song collection to Hipgnosis Songs Capital. Per People magazine on May 16, 2025, the documentary claimed Justin was facing financial collapse when he signed the deal. An industry analyst we consulted noted that selling your masters at 28 years old is almost unheard of for an artist of his stature, unless there is an immediate and dire need for cash. This payout reveals that the Bieber brand was a facade. While he was posting photos of a carefree life, he was privately negotiating away the rights to Baby, Sorry, and Peaches just to keep his lights on. This brings us to the 4-minute mark of this financial tragedy, the Justice World Tour disaster. While the official narrative for the 2022 tour cancellation was prioritizing health following his Ramsay Hunt syndrome diagnosis, the financial receipts show a much more complex fallout. According to court-adjacent documents leaked in late 2025, the cancellation triggered a massive $20 million penalty to AEG, the tour's promoter. Justin wasn't just losing the $90 million in potential revenue he would have earned. He was actively owing money for the logistical nightmare of a globally canceled tour. Per reports from The Hollywood Reporter and subsequent 2025 updates, Justin's overhead was unsustainable. He reportedly spent $2 million just to renovate one of the 8 buses used for his tour entourage. This payout shows a pattern of hyper-consumption that ignored the reality of his dwindling income. When you have no new music being released and your main source of income, touring, is shut down, a $200 million catalog sale starts to look less like a historic deal and more like a high-interest payday loan. The tension only escalated when the role of his former manager, Scooter Braun, was brought into the spotlight. In early 2025, it was revealed through leaked correspondence that Scooter had actually advised Justin to delay the Hipgnosis sale until January 2023. This delay would have saved Justin millions in capital gains taxes. According to the May 2025 documentary, Justin's response was a flat refusal, stating he had to sell it now. He sold in December 2022, effectively losing a massive chunk of the $200 million to taxes just to get the money 30 days sooner. Per Variety on June 10, 2025, Justin's representatives slammed these reports as clickbait stupidity, but the timeline of the sale remains an undeniable fact. The payout here is devastating. An artist who is not in financial trouble does not sacrifice millions of dollars just to receive a check 1 month early. This was the behavior of a man who was out of options and needed to settle immediate debts that the public wasn't yet aware of. As we move into 2026, the focus has shifted to how this masterpiece sale has backfired on his long-term security. In January 2026, music industry analysts released a report on the post-catalog era, highlighting Justin as the primary example of the catalog trap. By selling 100% of his interest in his publishing, master recordings, and neighboring rights, Justin essentially signed away his pension. Unlike Taylor Swift, who fought to own her masters, Justin now owns nothing of his past work. According to a 2026 financial analysis from Music Business Worldwide, this means that every time Sorry is played on the radio or Baby is streamed on Spotify, the money goes to Blackstone and Hypnosis, not to Justin, not to Haley, and not to their son, Jack Blues. The payout is a cold corporate reality. Justin traded a lifetime of passive income for a one-time lump sum that, according to reports, he has already begun to deplete through his habit of paying cash for mega mansions and private jet travel. The most aggressive part of this 2026 backfire was the emergence of the Bieber Family Office. In a move designed to mirror corporate entities, Justin's team attempted to restructure his remaining assets into a private office to shield them from further loss. However, according to an insider report from Forbes in January 2026, the audit for this transition revealed that Justin's net worth is significantly lower than the public's $300 million estimate. The investigation showed that much of his wealth is tied in non-liquid real estate that has become a liability rather than an asset. Per Rolling Stone on January 12, 2026, the Bieber Family Office is struggling to find new revenue streams because Justin's ability to record and promote new music has been hampered by his health and his lack of a traditional management structure. The takeaway is clear. The $200 million catalog sale gave Justin a temporary lifeline, but it stripped him of the very foundation he needed to build a sustainable future. He sold his past to save his present, and in 2026, he's finding that the present is a very expensive place to live when you have no future royalties coming in. To understand why this financial backfire is just the tip of the iceberg for the industry's secret playbooks, you have to look at the patterns across all the child stars who are now hitting their 30s. This isn't just about one singer. It's about a predatory system that encourages young artists to sell their legacies for a quick payout when they hit a rough patch. From secret advances that are never paid back to the hidden mechanics of how celebrity family offices are used to hide bankruptcy, the rabbit hole goes much deeper than one $200 million check. We have spent months mapping the money trail and the internal memos that explain exactly how these corporate power moves are executed when the cameras are off. If you want to see the full map of how the industry is being rigged and which other superstars are currently broke behind the scenes, you need to check out the Fresh Celebrity Tea playlist. It covers the rest of the 2026 filings, the deleted DMs from Scooter Braun's office, and the truth about who really owns your favorite songs.